What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Umineko When They Cry Answers Arc. Last episode, Battler and Erika's wedding thing went underway, and Erika put some weird-ass ring on Battler, and Battler was less upset about that, despite the fact that it was too tight, too small, and it had thorns that pierced his finger when she twisted the diamond on it. But he was more pissed that Erika took Beatrice's ring from him and put it on her own finger, just like, whoop-de-fucking-do. That's... I say that like that's not a reasonable thing to hate her for, but you know what I mean. Anyways, after that, Shannon and Kanon finally had their duel. One of them died, not sure who, but I imagine it's gonna be implied here with what's going on, so let's just continue. Kanon? Hey, what's going on? Hang in there! Suddenly, Kanon fell to the floor as if he'd had an attack of anemia. It happened without any warning beforehand, so everyone rushed up to him in alarm. What they saw surprised them. There was a single strand of blood across his forehead, making it look as though it had cracked open. Oh. Huh? How? What happened? What's going on? Jesus. Trying to get a look at the wound, Goda wiped Kanon's forehead with a handkerchief. However, his forehead was perfectly smooth, without any trace of a wound. And yet, blood was pouring out, almost as though it was seeping through his skin. What are you doing? Wait, what are you doing? Stop the bleeding already! But... even though there's no wound, the blood won't stop coming! There's no way that this is consistent with reality. This is non-objective, for sure. Hang in there, Kanon! Kanon! Yoshiha! Kanon's forehead was pale, and though his eyes were open, they had lost the light of the living. Just like a puppet whose strings had been cut. He had passed away. Oh, so Shannon killed Kanon. Got it. In the duel, at least, I'd imagine. Yep. Yoshiha! Yoshiha! Ah! I'm really bad at crying voice acting.
So long, Kanon. And thank you.
Jessica dashed up to Kanon's corpse, held it, pressed her forehead against his, and as the still hot blood was smeared over her forehead as well, she sobbed.
Shannon. George, we've won. Now, I finally have the right to love you. Finally.
Shannon leaned against George's chest, as though the strings holding her up had been cut. George held her in silence. Yoshia! Yoshia! Crying sounds! Fuck it, I'm bad at voice acting with crying. There was nothing in the golden rose garden except the wind that carried golden flower petals, and the sound of Jessica's grieving sobs. I'm actually kind of surprised that Kanon was the one that was killed. I thought for sure it would be Shannon, but oh well. Is your trial for us finished now? It is. Congratulations. You two were the ones who remained.
We will give you our blessing, but please don't forget, you are now responsible for nurturing your love. Please take good care of the seed of love that this miracle has created.
Of course. I swear it to her and you two.
And now let Shannon have the miracle of magic. Now your soul will become human. You will become a single person.
Gather, incomplete souls. Become one and know love. When Zepar and Furfur faced the heavens and yelled, the miracle of love gathered the souls around Shannon. Yeah, I feel like at this point it'd be really difficult to not know that Shannon and Kanon, or at least were, the same person. They came from the losers of the trial, from Kanon, who had been defeated, and from Beato, who had dropped out. I guess that means Beatrice is a third personality in Shannon and Kanon. Well, if I can call it a personality, more like an identity, maybe? Because it's either that Shannon, Kanon, or Beatrice is the real person, and they have APD. That's what it is, right? Associated, yeah, APD. And, yeah, the other two are just alternate personalities. Or it's just Beatrice, like, putting on a facade as Shannon or Kanon. It's more than likely a case of APD, I think, with the personalities working together to commit their string of murders, I guess? Whatever. Slowly, the bodies of the two began to break down into flecks of gold dust. Oh, I see. What's going on here? No one ever said that the losers would disappear. Well, Kanon died, so whatever. As she yelled, Beato the Elder supported the body of her fading little sister. However, the two demons were smiling quietly. Kanon has disappeared because he died. Beato was born to love Battler and is disappearing because she has lost the qualifications to do that. It is quite fair. If you had survived, the other two would have vanished. Then is Kanon considered dead on this list? No. Hang in there, little sister. Hang in there! Weren't you going to solve Battler's closed room and save him? What are you doing, getting finished off in a place like this? You called yourself part of our complete form?
Why was I born? For the purpose of loving Battler. Why do I love Battler? The truth is, I don't know why I started to love him.
What? Why are you saying this now?
After all, when I was born, I was told to love Battler and be loved by him. That was my purpose. So, I don't really know why I love him.
Then does that mean... Okay. I'm gonna assume then there's a fourth personality that we don't know, and that's the real person. However, it's not a fourth personality, it's the actual person. Now I don't think it's a case of APD, I'm switching again. Let's just refer to this person as culprit, I guess. So Shannon, Kanon, and Beatrice are not alternate personalities, but alternate identities that Culprit puts on. I think Culprit's the baby from 19 years ago. No matter where that baby came from, it was probably adopted from Fukuin House, whether that was the actual son or daughter of Asumu or just some other person. That's what I think happened. I think maybe they lived their lives as Shannon, but after Battler left 6 years ago, they kind of formed Shannon into something else, and then developed Beatrice and then Kanon down the line. As for why they would do that, I don't particularly know why they would bother making Shannon fall in love with George, Kanon fall in love with Jessica, and Beatrice fall in love with Battler. Unless Beatrice is culprit, and that Shannon and Kanon are two separate separate identities that they put on. But this kind of implies that this Beatrice persona isn't the main person, so I guess that means Beatrice isn't culprit. Whatever. I'm sure we'll get more hints later on, or maybe even an answer. People don't need a reason to love each other. Don't disappear. If you disappear, who will save Battler? Little sister, Beato! Beatrice! Why is it that I love Battler? Mother? What? Mother? Oh. Well, I'm actually not a big fan of the family-oriented type of girl. You see how crude I am, right? I just can't handle acting politely in front of girls, lady first and all that stuff. So if I had to say what type I liked, well, I'd probably like a Jessica-ish girl. If I'm crude, why shouldn't she be too? It'd probably be just perfect to have a rough, relaxed relationship where we can mess around without worrying about gender and be rude with no worries. Battler, aren't you supposed to be 12 here? So if I ever get a girlfriend, I hope it's someone I can joke around with all the time. Huh? What would she look like? Can't say I care much either way. Well, if she did happen to be a glamorous woman, blonde and bouncy with blue eyes like in Western films, that'd be awesome. I'd love to rub those boobs. Battler never changed, did he? Beatrice, listen. I'm giving you my love for Ushiromiya Battler. Become the kind of woman Battler wants. Take the golden hair he likes. Take the blue eyes he likes. Take this personality that matches his. And then you must love him in my place. And then if possible, you must be loved by him. I can no longer love him. Please, take my feelings that went unfulfilled. My feelings that I couldn't hold back. And make my wish come true. From this day forward, you are no longer the Rokanjima ghost that lives only to play pranks. From this day forward, you will become the master of this island, and wait for the day that he comes to fulfill his promise. From this day forward, you will do this in my place. So from this day forward, you will no longer be me. Please forgive me for pushing all of my worries onto you, while I alone try to find happiness. From this day forward, you have the right to hate everything. From this day forward, you are the Golden Witch Beatrice. And one day, you will destroy everything, revive everything. You will bring blessings to all lovers. When that happens, I pray that you and I will both succeed in finding happiness. Okay, so that all but cements that, despite me thinking that Shannon/Kanon may, they have the opportunity to be the killer, that's for sure, but I didn't necessarily believe that they had to be. This kind of proves they have to be. Okay, I see. So, whoever Shannon, Kanon, Beatrice culprit was before Battler left, whoever they were before they left, that person, I guess that likely means they're a girl, likes Battler. Like, they fell in love with Battler. And clearly they weren't Battler's type. Battler said he doesn't like family-oriented girls, so I guess this girl was family-oriented. And they developed the Beatrice identity to fall for Battler. And to have Battler fall for her. I'm not sure still why they developed these personalities to, string in Battler, George, and Jessica. It'd be one thing if they wanted to get their revenge against Battler, George, and Jessica, but I'm not sure why they would... that doesn't make sense when George dies relatively early sometimes, and Jessica dies relatively early sometimes, and Battler seems to always survive till at least the 9th Twilight, the 10th if there's no other intervention. So, interesting. From this day forward, you will no longer be me. From this day forward, I will no longer be you. I am not thou, and thou art not I. The two of us will split apart a single soul and share it. And though, of course, neither of us will possess a complete soul, I'm sure our dreams will be more numerous than those of humans. Let us be blessed, my dear Beatrice. No one will be able to see your form. However, I alone can see you. And if you are loved by many people, I'm sure that everyone will be able to see you someday. Unless Shannon is quote-unquote culprit. With love, they will be able to see us. So that's the it. Without love, it means the identity of Beatrice? That phrase in general is still kind of confusing to me. but... It refers to Beatrice, then? Without love, Beatrice cannot be seen. So does love mean literal love? Or does it mean love for Beatrice? Or love in general?
Yoshia!
Are we... dreaming? Insane. What kind of joke is this? Well? Dr. Nanjo! Call Dr. Nanjo here! Goda, that is enough. Genji, who had been calm and silent through the whole thing, finally spoke. And his were the most reasonable words spoken. If they called Nanjo here, then what? Not only was there no arm to take the pulse of, there wasn't even a forehead to feel the heat of. Oh, Kanon just fucking dissolved? Like leftover snow on a spring day, Kanon's form had been... By now, not even a trace remained. His form had sparkled with a spray of gold, vanishing completely.
Where? Where did he go? Where's Yoshia? Yoshia! Yoshia!
Huh. Yeah, that's clearly not objective, but I don't think that's the point of the scene, to mess with my reality. So long, milady. No, Jessica.
Kanon.
By now, no one's eyes can see us. That means that we're no longer in their world. However, we are right here. Oh. Okay. So this is what it means to fake the death of a personality, I guess? So this is kind of similar to what happens with, Shannon and Kanon in every game, actually. Well, except for the fifth. But I'll just use the first, for example. When Shannon, Kanon, Beatrice culprit fakes the death of... shows Shannon's death. There's no body, so, of course, there was accomplices in the forms of Eva, Hideyoshi, and Nanjo, at least. Possibly also Genji. They made it seem like Shannon died, so Shannon technically died. So, since nobody thought Shannon was alive anymore, Shannon no longer existed then? Or lost control of the main body? You're right. We are here. Oh, wait.
You're right. We are here.
For us, a body is nothing more than a cage made of flesh. There's no need to be sad.
But I do feel sad for her. For Jessica.
This is all my sin. This is why furniture isn't supposed to love.
What will you do now?
Though I have lost my form, though I can no longer talk to her, and even though if Jessica ever talks to me, I can do nothing except nod behind her back, I will be by her side.
I think that's wonderful.
What will you do?
I want to save Battler from a closed room.
A closed room? After looking a bit taken aback, Kanon laughed gently. Beata, who hadn't expected to be laughed at, looked a little sour.
Why are you laughing? This is very important to me.
But it's a closed room. That's something for humans with bodies to worry about, right?
Huh? Ah.
We've already been released from our cage of flesh. How could a closed room hinder us?
Are you sure about that? I mean, there's a chain lock, and packing tape seals, and red truth.
I see. So, you aren't a being from the world of pieces, but a higher level world. That means your limitations are different from ours, or so I hear. Well... Kanon stretched. It looked as though he was about to head out somewhere.
Kanon.
Seeing as you're a fellow loser. Okay, I'll go for you. I'll go to the guest room in the mansion, let Battler out, set the chain behind me, and hide in the closet in his place. Is that enough?
I'm glad for the sentiment. However, even if you wanted to leave the cousin room, because of Erika's seals...
Unlike the next room over, the cousin room containing Kanon was a guaranteed complete closed room, even counting the windows. Not only did he have no way to save Battler, he couldn't even escape himself. In that case, use your magic to give me power.
My magic?
Yeah, use your magic on me.
Wait, I don't even know how.
Aren't you Beatrice, the Golden Witch?
I am a witch, but, I don't even know about closed room tricks, much less magic.
Okay, listen up, Beatrice. I'll only tell you this once. This is what a witch is.
What a witch is?
A witch is not the one who solves puzzles.
Not the one who solves puzzles?
Yeah, that's right. If you're a witch, why are you clutching at your head because of someone else's puzzles? That's not a witch's job, right?
Then, what is a witch's job?
The Golden Witch I know would have used insane magic to create a puzzle that no one could understand, confusing everyone and sneering. Create a horrible riddle that no one can get, spin everyone around, and badmouth them. You aren't supposed to clutch at your head worrying about your opponent's puzzles. That's your opponent's job.
Worrying is my opponent's job.
Don't worry about how Ushiromiya Battler got out of the closed room. A chain-lock closed room? How trivial. You need to create a much more spectacular, ultimate closed room, and make it so that they're the ones worrying. I'll even lend a hand.
I'm not the one who worries.
That's for them to do. It's about time they learned the true terror of the Golden Witch Beatrice. The one who can create endless closed room tricks of the most horrific kind. Tricks that can make even the demons of hell prostrate themselves in shock.
A closed room. Even more horrific than Battler's.
We've already gotten our hands on one, haven't we?
A horrific closed room.
In the back of Beato's mind, images she remembered began to flit by one after another. The mansion, the guest house, the rose garden. Oh, yep. It even showed splitting the cheese, folding the cheese. Trick, mistake, lure, taunt, trap, laugh together. Do you know about this trick? I think I've seen something like it in a book before. Beato's eyes opened wider and wider. Countless lights circled around her, swallowing her up. And one more thing.
What?
That's no way for the Witch of Closed Rooms to talk. So after all, I must be... Oh! Yeah, me. Is she turning back into her old self? Oh. The marriage ceremony ended without any problems, and a reception was held inside the cathedral. As the goat demons partied raucously, Delana could be seen leaning against a pillar, trying to escape from the noise. Then, Gertrude appeared and whispered some kind of report to her.
Is that true?
Allow me to speak. Ide Cornelia is currently heading towards the scene. I suggest that Lady Erika be contacted as well.
Understood. I will tell her. Gertrude, contact the head of ceremony security. Prepare for battle.
Oh boy. As you wish. I apologize for interrupting your chat. I'm in charge of security for the ceremony.
Huh? Is it me? Do you want something?
I told you you were going too far. Champagne Tower bowling was always a bad idea.
What?
Looks like it's time for a scolding.
Hey, burn! Hey, what's going on? Did I do something wrong?
The reception desk has received an envelope from an unknown sender addressed to Lady Lambda Delta.
I always ignore anonymous calls and letters. Just throw it away.
But please look at this.
What's that? Did you tell anyone you received this?
No, only the two sisters at the reception desk and I know. They have already been ordered to keep silent. The instant she saw that envelope, Lambda Delta snatched it away and lowered her voice. Berncastle had walked away and was apparently making fun of Erika. She seemed to like it. Burn, and of course Erika, were both drunk. Then there was a goat in the background too. If they were left alone, they'd probably forget about this. It's true that this envelope has no sender written on it. However, the seal done on it in gold leaf fulfills the same purpose. This seal is... The M. Delta hid behind a pillar, ripped the envelope open, took out its contents, and read them. Her eyes instantly started to glint, and she smiled like a kid who's just thought of a nasty trick. What is to be done? The sniper team is carrying red warheads. If you give your permission, I will give you the order to load them. What are you talking about? Do you realize how important these guests are? If a stray bullet hits one of these attendants, all the new Chester sisters will be sent straight from the factory to the guillotine for the next 10 years. Understood. We will intercept with regular warheads. Shall we post watches around the 7 Sisters of Purgatory? Why would we need those? After all, the 7 stakes are battlers, and now Erika's furniture. Why would we post watches around our allies? Just make sure security is nice and tight. Just now we received a recommendation from Assistant Inquisitor Gertrude, suggesting that we make preparations for battle. Her reasons are unknown. From Gertrude? Then follow that recommendation. A party's more fun once you liven things up. Understood. 00 calling Chester 17, Chester 38, Chester 45. Code R, be on your guards. Transmitting level 2 alert. Oh great, I need to make up female voices. Whatever. 17, copy. 38, copy. 45, understood. Oh yeah, 45 is that one. I'm stupid. It'd been so much cooler if you said copy too, yeah? I just got nervous. Just kidding, I knew 45 was this one, haha. I'm stupid. Ah, right. 45, come over here a second. What is it? Hey, we're on the job! Stop, don't play with my ears! Your ears? Better fold them down, yeah? What did you say? You're kidding, right? That's impossible! Cornelia is heading there now. The odds of Beatrice attacking here are extremely high. I recommend suspending the reception and evacuating. What's going on, Erika? Something go wrong with the entertainment? No, my master? Please continue to enjoy the reception. Hey, somebody. Let's get Lady Burncastle some more dried plum wine. Erika didn't have time to hide her agitation. When Burncastle saw this, she knew that their final, late guests had finally arrived. Lucy, I hear there's been some movement in the guest house. The guest house? Who cares about the game board now? Well, they're saying that Canon disappeared from the cousin room. What? Are you a moron? The cousin room is a perfect closed room, along with the door and all the windows perfectly sealed. It's impossible for him to escape. No, I've been snooping about as well. There's no mistake. Canon has disappeared from the cousin room. Because he was never in there. He's probably hiding somewhere in the cousin room. Or else he's managed to trick everyone since the beginning and was never in that room to begin with. Thank you, Mammon. That's impossible. It's been guaranteed that everyone is in the cousin room, except the specific names Lady Erika read aloud back then. It's impossible for him to trick his way out of there. How did he get past the Jungfrau seal barrier? No, first off, where on earth is Canon? Find him at once. At that moment, the cathedral suddenly went black. The surprised commotion of the guests filled the cathedral. She's here. 00 calling all Chesters. Code R alert. Chester 17, can you repair the electrical systems? Negative. Communications with the management staff have been severed. All Chesters, code red. Rock and roll! Copy, copy, copy. Understood! I mean, copy! The sniper teams and the chandeliers all released their safeties at once. The entire security team down in the hall loaded their ammunition. I'm getting Danganronpa 2 vibes here. Is someone gonna get stabbed from underneath the floor? Lady Erika, let us evacuate to the waiting room. It is dangerous here. What's dangerous? I'm the territory lord of this world. Why should I have to run away in fear?
Gertrude, set up a VIP guard barrier. Call Cornelia back here at once.
Yes, executing.
A barrier? I need to be wrapped in one of your pitiful, pathetic barriers while I'm wearing a wedding dress? How insulting!
This disturbance made even Battler groan as he sat in the next seat over like a doll. Ugh. Even with the soul sealed, Battler probably realized that something strange was going on.
She's late, right, Lambda? Totally. She sure kept us waiting. What was that just now? A love letter from someone. A fan letter from the Lambda Chan fan club.
Okay. Lambda Delta played dumb and munched some popcorn. Then the lights finally turned on. I wouldn't say that's on. It was clear that during that blackout, Beatrice had snuck in somewhere nearby, possibly even inside the cathedral itself. The Whispering Demon attendants all realized it as well. Whose scheme was this? And what were they doing? Though it may have been imprudent, they were looking forward to this, and an excited chatter filled the cathedral. Oh, welcome back, Gap. Looks like she came. Gap! They let you come back too? Come on, putting me in a jail is pointless. True. But Ricci, Battler's closed room, the cousin room, and even the final possibility, the next room over, have all been sealed. How are you planning to save Battler? Let us suppose that Milady has found some trick X. If so, she would inevitably have to march in here to thrust that in Lady Erika's face. But against all of these Chester troops? I can't believe that this many of them were hiding here. It's impossible. She'll be sewn to death. Rabbit Ears dashed all about the hall. Incredible that she could remain hidden and unnoticed with so many people around. If she can just get close enough to challenge Erika, she should be able to get herself an even fight. I see. That move. However, does Milady have that item with her? She always complains and dislikes it when I prepare them for her. My. She's a troublesome one to the end. Amid the crowd, Ronave took something out and showed it. When Virgilia saw, she understood what that in his hand meant. True, with that, it should be possible to stop the attacks from the Chester troops. Well, if it doesn't work on Erika, we're through. The problem is getting her right in front of Erika, if only for a second. The Chesters will probably prevent that with all they have. Aaliyah, do you think you can gain her that time? Virgilia gave a small nod. However, the problem was the two Chester troops standing at her back. Since the time she tried to jump out in front of the procession, she had been marked constantly. It was possible, with Virgilia's vast magical power, to momentarily take out all of the Chester troops in the cathedral. That would only gain a short bit of time, but it would be enough to confront Erika. The Chester troops knew this, so they kept a close eye on Virgilia with tense faces. At that moment, the great cathedral door was blasted to bits. Oh boy. The fragments became bright gold butterflies, which danced across the room in a beautiful blizzard of gold leaf. That golden storm slowly faded away. Then, at the entrance to that red-carpeted path to the grave, a calm, majestic figure was... Guards, shoot to kill! Negative, conducting identity comparison. Oh, that was Delana who said it. Guards, shoot to kill! Delana ordered the guards to shoot the intruder right away, but Chester 00 didn't respond. Was it because she had been warned about shooting the guests, and was afraid of the consequences of possibly shooting a drunk guest pulling some sort of prank? No. 00 was just coolly and calmly carrying out her duties. Ah. This is a CG.
Oh, what a surprise. And I thought you weren't going to make it.
The pair faced each other from either end of the long red carpet. However, in between them stood several dozen Chester honor guards.
It took you quite some time to come here, most honored guest. You had us all quite worried, but I am glad you managed to make it to the reception at least.
I'd assume she's back to normal, so I'm just gonna give her back her old voice. Beato laughed. That chuckle made Battler's eyes quiver slightly. You... Oh. Yeah! Did I keep you waiting, Fruto Erika? I'm here to celebrate! She had an overpowering and evil presence about her, strong enough to make anyone shiver. Was there really any need to confirm her identity now? Who else could possess such an overwhelming presence? Beatrice! Why did it pause there? Beatrice! Let us meet again in hell is a favorite parting line of mine, but... Identity confirmed. It is the great Lady Beatrice. This time it really did happen. Fruto Erika! At that moment, the two Chester troops standing behind Virgilia slumped over and fell to the floor. Ronovea touched the bases of their big ears from behind. It was clear that he had applied some sort of magic. Someone find a doctor. These girls appear to be ill. Oh boy. All Chesters, open fire! Oh, even Virgilia has a CG. Beato, now! Just an instant before the Chester troops could fire, Virgilia raised her arms to the heavens. Her magical power, which was more than enough to remind all present what her name had meant at the height of her strength, became a spirit wave that exploded throughout the cathedral. Its shockwave made the stained glass windows shatter, and colorful glass shards poured down everywhere. Spirit particle wherefore defenses. Hurry on reboot! However, all of the Chester honor guards, who didn't have spirit particle defenses, toppled over like good dolls. The ceiling snipers were defended and able to avoid a crash, but it would take several minutes before the system could be rebooted. That span of time should be enough to reach Erika. However, it wouldn't be possible to defeat Erika in just a few minutes. There was no way they'd be able to carry Battler away in that time. What else could they use this precious time for? Beato dashed down the red-carpeted path. She ran down the path to the grave, which was lined by Chester troops lying there like corpses. She had called this place Hell. In that case, running from Hell to the grave was actually going backwards. Beato's figure dashing through the corpse-ridden path truly symbolized her resurrection. Milady, take this! Got it. As she dashed, she snatched something white from Ronove's outstretched hand. There was no longer anyone blocking her path to Erika. However, at that instant, a golden thread came from in front of her and rapidly sailed through the red carpet towards her like a sewing machine. Oh boy. Oh, we have a meddler! Reloading complete. Requesting data, yeah?
Firing radar targeted. Data link to 410.
410 was clever. She had predicted that Virgilia would go for a spirit particle attack, and had folded her ears and 45s over beforehand. Oh, okay. So they were the only ones who weren't taken out. Because they're the only ones who are important enough to not be. Firing! Once again, the golden sewing thread chased after Beato, weaving like a sewing machine. It was as though an undulating golden snake was shooting after her. Impudence? You mean to delay my precious showdown with Erika? Beato jumped sideways away from the red carpet, then dashed across the long table covered with beautiful food. Oh boy. The gold snake chased her, sewing through the pure white tablecloth like a sewing machine, and scattering dishes left and right. The goat attendants ran about wildly, trying to escape. The cathedral was wrapped in pandemonium. I can't believe some of those rabbits evaded the spirit particle attack. This is bad. If they take up that position, there's nothing we can do. The pair of snipers, attacking from the chandelier high above, were much further away than Erika was, too far for Beato to reach. Furthermore, their position landed the entire cathedral inside their range of fire. Too bad, yeah, Beatrice. The trials of love are harsh, yeah? 45, new magazine! Oh, you mean this? Gap handed her the magazine. 45 always handed them over backwards, so 410 was a bit confused to have one handed to her the right way up.
Yeah? Yeah. Let go! Yeah.
No matter how distant a position they might take, it was no problem for the elusive Gap. Gap twisted their long ears up, then tickled them with her thumbs. The Chester's greatest weapon was also their greatest weakness. The two doubled over with laughter. I've got these two, but how many seconds do we have left? The other Chesters will be reactivating. On the other chandeliers, even more powerful Chesters were slowly starting to move again. It would be impossible to buy any more time. Ah, Gap! Thanks, I'm in your debt. Don't forget to thank these guys, too. Beato, good luck! Hang in there! You don't have much time. Erika! Beato cut through the crowd of scampering goats like Moses. Her goal was straight in front of her, the place where Erika and Battler were seated. Then a red barrier took form, blocking her path. It was a VIP guarding barrier that Gertrude had set up. She stepped forward and laid out a last line of defense to block Beato's path. Let it be known that you will get no closer. Oh boy. You think a wall like that can stop me?
How long until the Chesters reactivate? Within 30 seconds.
As the oldest of the seven sisters of Purgatory, Lucifer stood in waiting behind the bride and groom. She wanted to save Beato. If she could just distract Gertrude for a moment, the wall would disappear. However, the seven sisters were furniture. They served the territory lord, so they couldn't move to help Beato. Delana glanced over at Lucifer. There was a coercive tint to her eyes.
You are not allowed to move except by the orders of your master. Who's our master? It's Erika now, idiot. No, our master is Battler. True, Erika only speaks on his behalf. That's right, sister. Whose furniture are we? It's just too delicious. Let's dig in.
Oh boy. The red absolute barrier flickered for just an instant. Beelzebub's stake had pierced Gertrude's shoulder, and her concentration had wavered, but it didn't break. Huh. Motorcycle gunman. Slowly and expressionlessly, Gertrude turned to look at Lucifer. By whose orders? Know that Lady Erika has made no such order.
We do have orders. The orders of our master!
How can a master who cannot speak give orders?
Even though he can't talk, understanding your master's will is furniture's job!
Then it cannot be helped. The seven stakes shot at Gertrude at once. Gertrude had chosen to take all of those direct attacks, refusing to abandon the barrier until the last moment. Though she was resilient enough to be called a literal Iron Maiden and receive no damage at all, it was more than enough to make her flinch and lose control of the barrier. Good work, my furniture! Beato shot through the scattered, red fragments of the barrier, and she was finally right in front of the bride, her rival, Erika. However, there stood the final shield protecting Erika. Death sentence Delana.
You're too late. Time is already up, Lady Beatrice! Chester 17, data link to all Chesters. Incoming data from Archangel Satellite. Homing format. Verdict model conceptual guidance. Chester 20, reactivation complete. Chester 127, reactivation complete. Time's up, yeah? Yeah! No, not there! No!
Richie, good luck.
Beato. Delana!
Back off, Delana Raynox. This isn't your fight.
I have received a red truth denying you from Lady Burncastle. I'm afraid that this will become your grave.
I don't know what Burncastle has allowed her to say, However, I don't need to sit around and let that longsword tell me. I'll play with you all you want later, but for now, back off. There's no time. The chesters have already finished reactivating. I'm only living on a bit of borrowed time. You'll be the one to retreat! You are the pitiable actor who has chosen the wrong time to make an appearance! Duaner's red longsword cut a large arc of absolute denial, which headed straight for the crown of Beato's head. I apparently moved my mouse so far down that somehow conveniently I happened to click the icon for the game on my hotbar. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. However, in that instant, there was thunk, and the curve missed slightly. Beato didn't let this good fortune go to waste. She slipped past the longsword, knocked Delana aside, and finally stood right in front of Erika. This time, not a single person stood in her way. This is popcorn. Where did this come from? Urgent request from the bride's bodyguard team. Let the Chester Sisters Imperial Guards fire at the intruder immediately. The commotion quieted. However, no one shot. Why? They could have shot if they wanted to. All of the Chester troops had completely targeted her and removed their safeties. Of course, all of them had finished reactivating. However, they hesitated to pull the trigger. Why aren't they shooting? Let the ceremony guards immediately! Wait. Look at that. Duaner's expression grew grim. Then she quietly put her red longsword away. After all, Erika would have to make a decision. If she decided to ignore it, they could shoot to kill. However, if Erika picked that up, they must not do so. So they couldn't pull the triggers until Erika decided. Why won't anyone shoot? Look closely! See what Beato just threw at Erika? Lambda Delta pointed, still chomping down popcorn. It was hard to see from the balcony. Beato had thrown something like a white handkerchief at Erika. It had fallen to Erika's feet. What was that white thing? She really knows what she's doing, that girl. She knows what it means to be the main character. How interesting. The thing that had hit Erika in the face and had fallen to the floor was a white glove that Beato had gotten from Ronove. Hitting someone with a glove like that could only mean one thing. It was... Ooh, Zepar, what's this? What does it mean? This is... a request for a duel. If she picks up the glove, it means she's accepted. And if she doesn't, the Chesters will shoot? Why would she pick it up? She doesn't have to. However, we in the demon attendants would probably spread the word far and wide that she dishonorably ran away from a duel. She would be known for eternity as a coward who ran away from a duel of love. Beatrice waited firmly and composedly. If Erika just kicked it away, then at that very instant, the Chesters would probably all fire at once, turning her into golden embroidery, so Erika didn't have to pick it up. However, she could not afford to be afraid of picking it up. After all, she was the true victor, who had defeated Battler's closed room trick and logic with facts and logic. If she was the victor, she should have nothing to fear. So, if she was afraid of doing it, it would prove that she still felt a tinge of doubt about her victory. If I don't pick it up, I can kill you without getting these clothes dirty. That would probably liven up your reception. However, you will pick it up. Oh? And why is that? I've brought a wonderful gift just perfect for you. You want to know what that is. Therefore, you'll pick it up. Not interested. Goodbye! You'll pick it up. I know. Bet you want to hear about the closed room I've brought you, which unlike that trivial guest room of Battlers, is simple, basic, and absolutely cannot be solved. A closed room that absolutely cannot be solved? I know you want to accept my challenge. After all, you are the detective. Oh boy. Erika threw off her wedding dress as though it were a cape. And somehow this even poofier dress was underneath it. Sure. Yes. Before she is a bride or a piece or a witch, she is one thing first and foremost. I am the detective. I acknowledge you as my opponent. However, are you qualified to participate in this game? Have you managed to fix the logic error? If you pick that glove up, I will prove I have fixed it in my fight against you. Good! Oh. The cathedral was filled with chatter. Erika had picked up the glove. A duel. A duel! The cathedral was wrapped in a bizarre excitement. At Erika's nod, Delana pushed the crowd away, leaving the pair alone. People were permitted to witness this duel. However, no one would be allowed to interfere in any way. It's okay, Battler. I've already found a way to save you. How? I'm going to save you now. Please hang in there just a little longer. Beto's resolute expression returned, and she grinned boldly, looking down on Erika. There can be no doubt. That's the expression worn only by the Golden Witch. The presence of the Master of Closed Rooms. Oh boy. A shadow dashed through the stormy rose garden. It was incredibly light and swift. The raindrops never touched him. He made no splashes into countless puddles. His feet left no tracks in the mud. That rushing figure was Canon. Then he ran up the stairs to the entrance of the mansion. He did not slow down in the slightest to open the door. He ran straight at it as though trying to break through, and leapt into it. Though the door was shut, even that couldn't stop Canon. He slipped through the door, fell into the entranceway, and slowly stood up. His body wasn't even wet. And as he recalled those nostalgic days spent serving the Ushiromiya family, which would never come again, he ran once more. He was heading for Battler's guest room. He ran past the servant room, through the entrance hall, and past the door to the parlor. Then, the doors to the kitchen and the dining hall came into sight. All of it brings back fond memories. There was the honor and rigidity of serving Kinzo directly. However, that man wasn't rigid all the time. When the family was out of sight and he didn't have to preserve that air of majesty, his face could turn unbelievably childish, and he would sometimes ask me to take part in strange pranks. The master let me shoot lots of guns, didn't he? That was pretty fun. Kraus was actually surprisingly kind. He must have gotten the impression that the master bullied me a lot. Whenever I was the only one around, he would talk to me in a very familiar way, almost as though he was a classmate of mine. I sort of regret that I held back and never did anything but nod in return. Madame was a really strict person. Ever since some rumor went around saying that she was strict on female servants but soft towards male servants, I get the feeling she viewed me as an enemy. However, she was also a woman to be pitied. When I've seen her alone, I've noticed her shoulders sag with pain many times. There were a lot of servants, weren't there? Some lasted a short while, others stayed a long time. Genji was the one person I might have called my father. I'm both grateful and resentful towards him over many things. They all mix together, cancel out, and I end up with a neutral emotion. In that case, Kumasawa could probably be called my mother. She's helped me out many times. I've always wanted to repay her someday, and now I've lost that chance for all time. Shannon is my sister. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to be me. Thanks for teaching me that the ocean is blue. Goda? I hate that guy. Still, when I complimented his stew, he would sometimes turn red and say that there was enough for seconds. I didn't dislike that part of him. I wonder why such a strong memory popped up at the instant I ran past the dining hall. And then, my memories of Jessica. Oh, it's a boy servant. How old are you? I think those were the first words she spoke to me. Come to think about it, she was probably interested in me ever since then. I really did have enough time to build up a love that wouldn't lose to George and Shannon's. But since I could only see the gray sea, I wasted almost all of that time. What does she like about me? What do I like about her? I get the feeling we never really made that clear. No, she told me. We would have stayed together longer to eventually find that out. It would have been fine to find reasons for our love later. It took me far too long to realize that. Now, I think I can accept it. I know why Shannon won the duel. God must have been watching. You had so much more courage than I did, and God didn't abandon you. I reached the hallway with the guest rooms. There was someone lying on the ground. It was Battler. He was just lying outside the guest room, a chain tied to his neck. He had probably struggled to do something with the chain lock from the outside until he lost consciousness. His fingernails on both hands had been torn off, and they were stained with blood. I could tell at a glance just how hard he had tried until the final moment when his heart had died. The collar binding him wouldn't disappear unless the chain lock was set. Battler, it's alright. I'm going to save you now. Battler responded faintly. He probably hadn't even imagined that help would come to this eternal closed room. He was so scared that this might be an auditory hallucination brought about by a fleeting delusion, that he couldn't bear to open his eyes easily. Canon grabbed Battler by the arms and dragged him into the room. The inside of the room was terrible. The windows had been brutally shattered, and the wind and rain had made its way inside. All kinds of tools and furniture lay broken there. However, Battler hadn't smashed them out of rage. The curtain had been removed, torn, and twisted up into a bundle. He had probably used trial and error to see if that could be used as a rope for some trick. He had tried using everything in the room, exploring all possible options of escape. The traces could be seen throughout the room, and even in the bathroom. The empty bathtub was stained with just a bit of blood, and the nippers lay there on the bottom. To protect this tale, he had nearly been prepared to accept Berncastle's brutal method of escape, cutting himself into pieces and washing himself down the drain. He was even willing to tear apart his own body, to protect the game that Bato had entrusted him with. He had probably questioned himself over and over in this bathtub, wondering if there was any other way out. By the clock of the game world, not even a single day had passed. However, just how many years has it been in the closed room of the logic error? When faced with an endless span of time, any way of ending it, no matter how cruel, is tempting. However, he had rejected that until the very end. And, even in the last moment when his heart died, he had wanted so much to show his iron will to escape from this closed room, that he had chosen to fall here in the corridor, with the chain still around his neck. Battler, it's Canon. Please, come to your senses. He wiped Battler's face with a towel wetted in the sink. In response to that cold sensation, Battler's heart slowly started beating again. It's you. Canon. Yes, it's me. Canon. You did well to endure until today. Looks like I slept in just a little too much. Battler realized that the feel of the towel on his neck meant that the cursed collar and chain were gone. There's no longer anything binding you here. Come on. Please, head back quickly. But if I unset that chain lock, that chain will come back. Don't worry. No longer does any chain exist to bind you, Battler. I will remain here. What did you say? By now, Battler knew the terror of this endless closed room better than anyone else. So he was more filled with shock than happiness. Shock at the determination of the one who was willing to become the new prisoner. I'll be fine. There's no need to worry. But... Battler, isn't there still something you have to do? Go back. Quickly. There's someone fighting in your place. And there's someone awaiting your return. Will you not go back? His stern words and gaze shot why am I bad at that? Shot straight through Battler. Are you sure?
Yes, that will be fine. This way, I can repay my debt from back then. Debt? Do you owe me something? You aren't the one I owe, Battler. It's okay, so go. I don't like being indebted to others. Go, quickly. You must not keep her waiting now. So, hurry. Battler couldn't argue back anymore. He silently bowed his head, unset the chain, and opened the door. Kanon had remained in the room, so no chain appeared about Battler's neck. He could leave this closed room just by running out. The happy-sounding voices that he had heard at the far end of the corridor had been replaced with an excited chatter. There must have been some sort of strange disturbance going on. As Kanon went out into the corridor to see me off, the merciless collar and chain had already captured their new prisoner. He would remain inside this endless closed room, in Battler's place. Kanon, I feel the same. About what? I don't like keeping debts. I'll definitely repay you, and I'll do it soon. I hope I can count on that. Go on. Run. Run to the one you love. And please, never get lost again. Battler didn't turn back again. He ran with everything he had. He ran out into the corridor, whose warmth he had cursed so many times. That cursed chain no longer bound him. He ran to the very end of the corridor, beyond the light. Kanon, still connected to the chain, watched him go, then quietly returned to the guest room. Now he only had to worry about his own job. Stay in this room and fix the error in logic. Now, I set the chain lock. As soon as he said it, the chain disappeared from his neck. Then, if he hid in the one place Erika hadn't checked, the broken logic would be fixed. The closet door opened slowly. It was well oiled, and opened without a sound. It was cramped inside, and dark. This tiny space is the last place I'll see. As long as I remain hidden in here, the logic will be preserved. That's an easy job. Easier than caring for the roses. Kanon went in it, and closed the double doors from the inside. As soon as he did, a single small gold butterfly appeared, melted into the darkness of the closet, and vanished. It was a sign that the logic had been fixed. The witch's game had already stopped, and the clock of the world of pieces would never tick again. So for all eternity, no one would come to save him from this place. That's okay. This way, I paid back my debt, Beatrice. The power of the gold butterfly brooch taught me about love. In the third game, it gave me some quiet time alone with Jessica. I get the feeling it did many other small things for me. At any rate, I've paid back all of my debts now. Now all of my debts are... that music tape Jessica lent me. I never gave that back, did I? That's okay, isn't it, Jessica? I like that one. Can I accept that as a present? You want me to dub it over and hand it back? Slowly, Kanon's body began to melt into a cloud of gold butterflies. And after the inside of the cramped, dark closet glittered like a golden planetarium, it faded away like the light of fireflies and was painted over by a pitch blackness. So for all eternity. Huh. Well then, I'd assume we're probably coming up on the end of Chapter 6 in general, but there's probably still about an hour left, maybe 2 if they really want it to be. But I think I'm going to end this episode here. So I'm gonna assume next episode will be the last episode of Chapter 6, minus the tea parties. So, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like him, then fuck you too.
Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!